Welcome to War Bios, the podcast where we delve into the lives of history's most fascinating military leaders. I'm your host, General Biography, and today we're going to explore the remarkable life of Jean-Baptiste Bernadotte, a man who rose from humble beginnings to become one of the most influential figures in European history. Born on August 26, 1763, in Pau, France, Bernadotte's early life was marked by modest means and a strong sense of ambition. As we step into the charming town of Pau, nestled in the foothills of the Pyrenees, we find ourselves surrounded by the rustic charm of 18th century France. The air is crisp, the streets are narrow, and the sound of the Gave de Pau River provides a soothing background hum. It was here, in this picturesque setting, that Jean-Baptiste Bernadotte spent his formative years, shaped by the values of his family and the limited opportunities available to him. Bernadotte's father, Jean-Henri Bernadotte, was a lawyer who struggled to make ends meet, while his mother, Jeanne de Saint-Jean, was a homemaker who managed the household on a tight budget. The family lived in a modest house on the Rue des Cordeliers near the town's central square. Young Jean-Baptiste was the youngest of 5 children, and his parents' financial struggles meant that he had to rely on scholarships and assistance from relatives to pursue his education. Bernadotte began his education at the local Collège de Pau, where he demonstrated a keen intellect and a strong work ethic. His teachers recognized his potential and encouraged him to continue his studies despite the family's limited means. In 1775, Bernadotte enrolled in the École Militaire de Toulouse, where he trained as a cadet and developed the skills that would serve him well in his future military career. As we follow Bernadotte through his early years, we notice a pattern of determination, resilience, and adaptability that would define his character and shape his future decisions. His experiences as a young soldier, his relationships with his family and comrades, and his exposure to the harsh realities of military life all contributed to the development of a strong sense of purpose and ambition. One notable influence on Bernadotte's early life was his older brother, Jean-Evangeliste, who had enlisted in the French army and served as a role model for the young cadet. Jean-Evangeliste's stories of military adventure and bravery sparked Jean-Baptiste's interest in a career as an officer, and he began to see himself following in his brother's footsteps. In 1780, Bernadotte graduated from the École Militaire de Toulouse and was commissioned as a lieutenant in the Régiment des Royal Marines. This marked the beginning of his military career, which would take him to the battlefields of Europe and ultimately lead him to become one of the most respected leaders of his time. As we explore Bernadotte's early life, we see the seeds of greatness being sown. His family's modest means and his own determination to succeed created a sense of drive and ambition that would propel him forward in the years to come. The lessons he learned as a young cadet, discipline, hard work, and loyalty, would serve him well as he navigated the complexities of military life and rose through the ranks. And so, we come to the end of our first segment on Jean-Baptiste Bernadotte's early life. As a young officer, Bernadotte quickly distinguished himself through his bravery, tactical acumen, and leadership skills. In 1785, he was promoted to captain in the Régiment de Royal Marines and soon found himself serving in the French colonies in the Caribbean. This experience not only broadened his military horizons, but also exposed him to the complexities of colonial politics and the harsh realities of slavery. The French Revolution, which began in 1789, had a profound impact on Bernadotte's career. As a member of the nobility, he was initially viewed with suspicion by the revolutionaries, but his strong sense of justice and commitment to the principles of liberty, equality, and fraternity soon earned him their respect. In 1792, he was promoted to lieutenant colonel and given command of a regiment in the Army of the North. Bernadotte's military prowess and strategic thinking were instrumental in several key victories during the French Revolutionary Wars. At the Battle of Jemappes in 1792, he played a crucial role in the French victory over the Austrians, and his bravery under fire earned him the admiration of his comrades. The following year, he was promoted to general of brigade and continued to distinguish himself in battles against the coalition forces. One of the most significant events in Bernadotte's career during this period was his appointment as commander of the Army of the West in 1793. Tasked with suppressing a royalist rebellion in the Vendée region, Bernadotte proved himself to be a skilled and ruthless leader, using innovative tactics and clever diplomacy to outmaneuver his opponents. Although the campaign was marked by brutality and violence on both sides, Bernadotte's ultimate victory helped to consolidate the French Republic and cement his reputation as a brilliant military strategist. In 1796, Bernadotte was appointed as ambassador to Austria, a position that required him to navigate the treacherous waters of European diplomacy. His experiences in Vienna gave him a unique perspective on the complexities of international politics and the delicate balance of power in Europe. Although his time as ambassador was marked by controversy and tension, Bernadotte's diplomatic skills and personal charm helped to ease tensions between France and Austria, paving the way for future alliances. His ability to adapt to changing circumstances, think strategically, and inspire loyalty in his troops and colleagues were essential qualities that served him well throughout his career. Moreover, his commitment to the principles of the French Revolution, despite its complexities and contradictions, reflects a deeper sense of purpose and conviction that drove him forward. In 1798, Bernadotte was appointed as Minister of War, a position that gave him significant influence over French military policy. His experiences in this role not only shaped his understanding of the intricacies of military administration, but also deepened his appreciation for the complexities of modern warfare. As he navigated the challenges of supplying and equipping the French army, Bernadotte developed a keen sense of logistical planning and strategic thinking that would serve him well in future campaigns. His remarkable rise through the ranks of the French army, his notable achievements on the battlefield, and his diplomatic successes have all contributed to his growing reputation as a brilliant and charismatic leader. As the Napoleonic Wars unfolded, Bernadotte found himself at the forefront of several key campaigns. In 1805, he was appointed as commander of the French army in Hanover, where he played a crucial role in the French victory over the Austrian and Russian forces. His military prowess and strategic thinking were instrumental in the Battle of Austerlitz, where Napoleon's Grande Armée defeated a combined Austrian and Russian force. However, Bernadotte's relationship with Napoleon was complicated and often contentious. Despite his admiration for Napoleon's military genius, Bernadotte was wary of the emperor's authoritarian tendencies and his willingness to sacrifice thousands of French soldiers in pursuit of his ambitions. The two men had fundamentally different personalities, with Bernadotte being more cautious and diplomatic, while Napoleon was impulsive and dictatorial. In 1806, Bernadotte was appointed as governor of the Hanseatic cities, where he was tasked with maintaining order and suppressing any opposition to French rule. However, his experiences in this role were marked by tension and controversy, as he struggled to balance the competing demands of the French government, the local population, and his own sense of justice. One of the most significant events in Bernadotte's career during this period was his appointment as Crown Prince of Sweden in 1810. The Swedish Parliament, seeking to strengthen their country's position in Europe, had chosen Bernadotte as their new monarch due to his military reputation and his connections with Napoleon. However, Bernadotte's acceptance of the offer was conditional on his ability to maintain Sweden's independence and neutrality in the face of Napoleonic aggression. As Crown Prince, Bernadotte played a crucial role in shaping Swedish foreign policy and military strategy. He worked tirelessly to modernize the Swedish army, introducing new tactics and training methods that would help the country defend itself against potential threats from Napoleon's empire. At the same time, he navigated the complex web of alliances and rivalries between European powers, seeking to maintain Sweden's independence and avoid being drawn into the conflict. In 1812, Bernadotte made a decisive break with Napoleon, joining the coalition of European powers that were determined to defeat the French emperor. His decision was motivated by a combination of factors, including his growing distrust of Napoleon's intentions, his commitment to Swedish neutrality, and his desire to protect his adopted country from the ravages of war. As the Napoleonic Wars drew to a close, Bernadotte played a key role in the coalition's ultimate victory. He commanded the Northern Army, a combined force of Swedish, Russian, and German troops that was tasked with defeating the French forces in Germany and Denmark. His military strategy and leadership were instrumental in the Battle of Leipzig, where the coalition forces defeated Napoleon's army and marked a major turning point in the war. In conclusion, Jean-Baptiste Bernadotte's experiences during the Napoleonic Wars were marked by both triumph and turmoil. His complex relationship with Napoleon, his commitment to Swedish neutrality, and his military leadership all played a significant role in shaping the course of European history. That's all for today's War Bias. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and until next time, I'm General Biography reminding you to keep marching toward victory.